people, real warfare here. Today, let's talk about the insane liquid rock climbing lick by Phil X. And I didn't give that lick that complicated name. It was actually Rick Beato. I saw a couple of days ago, I think it was even yesterday. I saw on Rick Beato 2, I think that's the second YouTube channel of Rick Beato, a video with Phil X, and he was playing exactly this lick, which is actually from one of his songs. And Rick Beato just gave it that complicated name. Liquid, you know, it makes sense because it just sounds, because it is just liquid, you know, it just flows from the bottom of your neck to the top of your neck, of your guitar. And rock climbing, sorry, I have a bit of a cold. Rock climbing, because it's an ascending, you know, it's not descending. Descending would be, I don't know, something like this. Like that Zakk Wylde lick. No, it's an ascending riff. It goes from a low note to a really high note. That's why it's a liquid rock climbing lick, you know? That's the reason. So in this video I'm going to show you this lick, I'm going to dissect it, I'm going to talk about what notes we have in here, what makes this riff, that lick, so awesome, why does it sound so cool. So first of all, let me play it slow. Put up some distortion here. Something like that, right? And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I just really liked this lick. I wanted to learn it, and it was kind of hard to just learn it by ear and looking at the YouTube video. But that's just what had to be done to learn it, right? So I'm doing this for you just to make it easier, you know, just to share what I learned. Back to the lick. Now, let's take a look at all the notes that are in that lick. It's basically, you've got your root note, oh, and we're in the key of E. You've got your root note E, you got your minor third, you got your major third, either this one or this one. Let's take that one. Then, you got your 4, your minor 5th, your 5th, your major 6 would be C sharp, and minor 7 would be the D. So, and then it starts all over again right here. Because that's the octave. So you end up with a scale like this. And that's it. That's all the notes. And he's taking just all those notes and just repeating them over and over again in a certain pattern, of course. And don't make this more complicated than it has to be. All the scale really is, for me at least, I think of it as the blues scale with added major third, that one right here, and added 6, major 6, the C sharp. It makes it sound like, basically it's just, you just take your minor pentatonic and your major pentatonic and you mix the most important notes of those two scales. That's just the scale that you end up with it. That's how I think about it. You've got this little chromatic part in here. That's a cool lick just by itself, right? And then you got the major 6 right here. And that's it. But now, the important thing is he's taking these notes and he's putting it in a mechanical pattern of his hand. And the mechanical pattern is just like this. You start off on your first string and you do a hammer on to the next note. Go to the next string, take the first note, do a hammer on. And now, instead of playing the next note of the scale on the same string, you go to the next string. Just like that. Now you do exactly the same thing, but you start with the next note on your scale, like that. You know, in this case I'm doing a slide. Now I'm doing a hammer on, and I'm taking the next note. I'm going to the next note right here. Now he's breaking his pattern right here. He's just playing those two notes, Now he's going back into this pattern. Going back into the pattern. Breaking it. Going back. Same pattern. Now here you can't keep on going because you know the frets are just ending on your guitar, and so he kind of ends that lick right here. And that's just such a cool bluesy ending. I love that. When you take the 5th and you bend it up to the 7th. You could keep it going. Bend to the root note. Something like that. Anyway, that's not what the lick is about, right? There's a couple of really hot spots in this entire sequence. The beginning, like the first two licks right here, I kind of like to leave those away because they're on different strings. For me, the sequence really starts on this string. Just go like that. And up till here, up till that point right here, it's pretty simple. But right now, he's sliding from the 9th fret to the 12th. Again, changing string, go to the B string. And now he's doing this right here. That's for me a really hot spot. And notice in what position your hand is in. Well, what does that sound like? It's the major pentatonic. It's the E major pentatonic. Only that you got your blue note right here instead of the normal 5th. And the next one, the next position goes like this. We're switching back into the E minor pentatonic. But all he's doing basically from this one right here, he's basically just playing. Is he playing that? No. Oh, he's starting right here, right? That's just starting on your minor 3rd, playing the blues scale to the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But he's breaking it up and playing it on different strings. But it's definitely it's just a scale. It's just a blues scale. So that's kind of a hot spot for me, and this one right here. And those two scales neighboring each other so closely, that makes that just so colorful to hear. And then it kind of just repeats the pattern. Remember when I said that the sequence for me starts right here? Well, basically, from this point on, now, it just repeats. And because you can't keep, I mean, maybe if you have 24 frets and, 2 cutaways, maybe you can keep that sequence going, but me playing on this wonderful Maybach only has 1 cutaway. Really nice to play, but I just can't keep it going, and I don't have to. I got my root note right here. I'm just gonna end that just like Phil X did on in that position. Now there's another special thing that what makes this sequence, this whole lick, so it has this out of the zone sound, right? And that's because it has so many chromatic notes in there. But there's also another reason. Remember I said there's this mechanical pattern that keeps repeating those 5 notes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, what happens if you have 5 notes, but you're playing straight 16ths like Phil X is doing? Well, what happens is that the 1 is always shifting and is always at a different spot. It's not like this. It's not like 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. You know what I mean? That's not where the beat is. The beat actually is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? So this would be my next beat right here. This would be my next beat. Right, this would be my next beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know this is kind of hard to understand. Go to my Patreon and take a look at the tabs that I made, and you can just visually see where the pattern starts, and you can see that the beat, that the bar is always shifting and making that that's what makes this pattern sound so out of the zone. You know, Phil X is definitely playing it tight, and it's just a fluent flow of 16th notes, but because it's not always starting on the same spot like this, that's just what makes this riff so incredibly cool to listen to. So one more thing. So it's one thing to learn a lick like that, but it's another to kind of steal it for yourself, and how do you apply it? And by this riff, I think it's kind of hard to find applications if you just play it straight ahead like. You know, where can I put that in a solo, like, or when I'm improvising? That's kind of hard, but at least I could take just one little thing, like, just like a part of that, like say the beginning. Maybe start it up here. Do something like that, you know? What I wanna do? Yeah, I mean, learn that thing, get inspired by that, but then kind of make it your own. Like, steal the stuff that you really like, and in that interview with Rick Beato, that was actually an interesting question came up, because Rick Beato kind of asked Phil X, like, how do you come up with riffs like that, with licks like that? And Phil X just went on and explained that he just kind of has this mechanical thing in his hands, and then he just sees what notes he just wants to change, because you know, that's just what he feels, and that's what's in his mind, in his inner ear. And I think we should do the same. We should take that riff and maybe put on a backing track on YouTube and just take little parts and then change them. You know, change them to make them sound how we feel, or how you feel, and how you just hear it in your head. Let me say something about this guitar. This is a Maybach. Maybach loaned me this, and it's a wonderful instrument again. It's pretty light, which I really like. It has amazing humbuckers in here, and they got a really cool design actually. It looks like from these old radios from the 50s. They had these speaker cones cut out on the cases of the radio, and that's what it reminds me of, like just this old 50s style. It stays in tune. I know it's been chambered probably because it's so light, like a piece of mahogany or just any piece of wood could never be as light as this guitar. I'm guessing it to be at about 3.5 kilograms or something like that. Pretty light for a guitar this big. So it's got to be chambered, I'm guessing. But it just sounds great. Has a really nice tone of its own. Looks beautiful, stays in tune, got really good hardware. People, check out the Maybach guitars. You know, the people, if you've been following me on this channel for a bit, you know I'm a bit of a Gibson fanboy. But I've also had bad experiences with Gibsons that I've bought. So you do have to be careful with the Gibsons. And that's just something with the Maybachs you don't. You can actually just go into the store, grab any Maybach, at least that's my experience, and they're just gonna have a decent sound. They're always gonna be They're always going to have a good quality check. And yeah, I've never had a bad experience with a Maybach. People, hope you liked this video. Please put in a comment below what you think about this. Subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.